last summer, last July, some dad ran across it. Long story short, told his wife, who told, hot gossip kind of goes around. They're taking pictures and, spreading them around. And then I get an email from the principal saying, hey, there's some scandalous pictures that these moms found. Heads up, or, that's being talked about. To make a long story short, the principal actually met with the diocese and their attorneys back in August of last year, back in August of 2020. And they deemed at the time that this was not an issue. The kids were fine. They weren't going to make it an issue. The Catholic Church has been through a lot of scandals. They didn't want to pass a judgment because they've let priests around for a long time without like going into details. Right. So they're like, no judgment here. We're going to be fine. But this mom, there's just one particular mom, and she's not used to being told no. So when the school said, we're not doing anything, it just it got under her. And honestly, she's not offended by it because she gets on my site and she creates fake accounts on Instagram. She pays for my OnlyFans content and takes the pictures and prints them out, or she'll pass them around and spin all over the neighborhood. At the time, Crystaljackson, Miss Poindexter, there was no connection. So you have to actually go search for Miss Poindexter to find her. And they did. I mean, that's what they were doing. So long story short, she kept at it, printing pictures, sending them to the school, in these envelopes, all through the fall. In January, we heard that a big packet came to the school, to the bishop, and to the priest. At that time, we heard, because we had some friends that were teachers there, that, it might be an issue. They might have to discuss taking the kids out of school. We wrote the diocese, the superintendent, and said, hey, listen, you've never asked us what's going on. We will sit down. We'll open up your page. And we even asked in that email we even told them we would leave the school. We would peacefully leave the school if that is what the decision is. And we, offered twice in the email to leave the school. We never heard anything back. And that was at the end of January. 2 weeks after we sent that email, I get an email from the principal saying that she's removing me as a second grade room mom, because I'm asking for children's pictures for the yearbook. And the parents are concerned that I'm going to have these pictures. That was my breaking point where I'm like, I am done with this. I'm like, you guys for the last 7-8 months have been passing my content around, trying to get my kids kicked out of the school, sending packages of pictures to the school, creating all these fake accounts, getting on my OnlyFans. And then to have me basically kicked out of being a room mom, saying I'm unsafe to be around children. That's when I was like, F it. I'm like, we're calling the press and we're going, we tried to put the school in a really good light of saying, hey, listen, don't name the school, don't name the diocese, tell them that they're actually working with us, which they were. But I just wanted to make a story of hey, these moms have been bullying me, harassing me for the last 7 months. And this behavior is really disturbing, for being an adult, that you do this to a woman. So that was what the first story was. Well, the school took it as oh, you're going after fame, media, whatever. I mean, but I think she was under a lot of pressure to get these kids kicked out. So she just took that as oh, you went to the press, now the kids are kicked out. So a lot of politics, I think, that are going on behind the scenes, that, this wasn't it wasn't a school thing. I think it was more of, the principal was talked into it by this group of parents or this couple.